You live in Toronto, not in the city, but in the suburbs of Toronto, where it's safer and much quieter. Nope, that's not where you live. That's where Drake lives. You are too poor for that lifestyle. You live in the outskirts of Toronto. This is the house you were born in about a few days ago. Well, not quite in the house, but in the back of the house, under the deck, in a burrow. While the house owners have been paying ridiculous amounts of mortgage with high interest for many years, your mom made a nice little burrow to protect you and your siblings from the weather before you were born, living practically rent-free. Here you are, opening your eyes after a few days of being born. You first see your mom's face as you get nursed by her since you are not able to eat solid food yet. Trust me, you are born at the right time as Toronto is filled with diverse food choices. Your mom is famous in the neighborhood. Not in a bad way, of course, other than flipping green bins like a pro. Your dad? Well, you're not even sure raccoons have dads. Whoever he was, he's probably off somewhere raiding a Tim Horton dumpster. Now, back to you. You're tiny, wobbly, and confused, surrounded by your 4 equally clueless siblings in the burrow. You sleep during the day and wake up at night. While mom goes out to get food, you have the usual playtime, which sometimes turns into fights. You need to show these siblings of yours who's the boss. This will teach you skills like strength, coordination, and self-defense against predators. Pretty much like a self-taught martial arts for raccoons. As time passes, you are now about 12 weeks old. You slightly got bigger with much thicker fur and a bit fluffy. Your mom takes you and your siblings out on your first night out in the fresh, beautiful Canadian spring. Well, maybe it's still winter because the weather here in Toronto is unpredictable. You sense all sorts of smells. The air hits your tiny nose like a slap, a pungent cocktail of mysterious aromas, including all the garbage people discard onto the street. Lake Ontario, exhaust fumes, questionable puddles, and mainly, dog piss. As you and your family walk more, your mom suddenly stops. She sees a green tower-looking thing, a recycling bin. She moves quickly, karate kicks, and knocks the bin over and opens the newly redesigned raccoon-proofed recycling bin effortlessly. And there goes more of the taxpayers' money. Anyways, she finds lots of leftovers, like paper straws, wooden spoons, beer cans, and used balloons. Wait, she got it. A big piece of shish kebab, few McDonald's french fries, and half of a Tim Hortons finest seasonal donut. Now, that's a rare find. She gives it to you and your siblings. The taste of your first 3-course breakfast is embedded into your tiny brain. It's love at first bite, and you realize humans are the best chefs, and the food tastes better after it rots. You lick your tiny paws and vow to master the art of scavenging. You watch the way your mom opened the bin, so you quickly take notes, because she is not going to stick around forever to teach you life. So it's tilt, tip, and flip. Got it. You catch on quick. With this, you unlock your first skill. Suddenly, you hear a door open. Your mom takes a sprint. You and your fellow siblings follow mom. You just survived a potentially deadly human encounter. As time goes, your mom and your siblings unlock many more skills. You develop a sixth sense for which bins are worth the effort. The humans continue to curse and chase you with brooms. But hey, it's a small price to pay for fine dining. You become the first to snag barbecue leftovers, pizza crusts, and even a slice of cheesecake. Happy birthday to you. You have now successfully finished 1 year without catching rabies. Now come your rebellious late teenage years. You have added a bit of muscle from all the side maps you ran with your family. Your mom, she is gone like the wind, and your siblings aren't around anymore. So you move out to the hood and say, Wagwan broski, to the hood raccoons named the Trash Mobs. A rough and tumble group of bachelor raccoons who aren't afraid to push boundaries or knock over dumpsters. They don't live in a burrow like you did with your mom and your siblings. They live in a tree. They pick a tree for you, your new home with more space than any condo in Toronto. The oldest member of the gang teaches you new tricks, like how to sneak into patios for untouched chicken wings on Canada Day while humans are wasted. You and the gang even pulled off your biggest heist yet, a food truck raid. You snag a whole burger, still wrapped. You're a legend. You gain mad respect and earn the street name, Rocky the Raccoon. Sometimes you don't even walk on your 4 legs. You walk with your 2 legs. You are pretty much the alpha male of all raccoons in the community. Now you are an adult. One moonlit night, You decide to scavenge nearby shawarma stand by yourself. You smell an outsider, someone who is not from your block. You get paranoid as you look around. Could it be the Jane and Finch area raccoons? No, they don't travel this far. Then you move a little further as you were curious. Boom! You spot a beautiful female raccoon. She looks graceful, clever, and her fur practically glows under the streetlights looking for trash. She is thick, so you approach her. You take a closer sniff to make sure it's a she first, as you are not interested in a sword fight. You want to impress her, so you flip a particularly heavy green bin next to you with just one kick with your strong legs, and find small piece of half-eaten shawarma and half a box of poutine. She screeches, and you know she's interested. You and her share a nice bite of the leftover old shawarma and just leave the poutine to rot more, because it's not stinky enough. Now, you and your date make sweet love near a cemetery in Toronto. R.I.P. that poutine. Once you did your deed, it's time for Need for Speed. You know that you have to make your dads and your ancestors proud. But that was not your last one-night stand. You engage in many more of these mating rituals in many different parts of the city. This resulted in an uplift in the raccoon community. Now you're past your middle age. You're getting tired very easily. You barely go out with the boys to scavenge. And food is becoming harder to find in the dumpster as inflation hit the entire country. Even humans are not throwing leftovers anymore. So you decide to move out into the city, where inflation is complained about but not cared about. Remember, your mom or the boys never went to the main city, because the city is a dangerous place. It's like voluntarily entering a human-made trap to get caught by animal control. But the lack of food around you is making you take such a risk. So, you start walking to the main city. You spot a bag full of something on the other side of the busy intersection. You hesitate first. You know it's risky, but what's in that bags? Your nose smells butter. The bag is practically calling your name. You make your move. Wow! You couldn't believe it. A bag full of butter tarts, a Canadian classic dessert. As you took the bite, you thought you were in heaven for a moment. Suddenly, there is a bright light, and you wonder if it might be morning. And then, nothing. Well, that was your last bite. It was an Uber driver driving a Tesla on a late-night shift with zero sleep. Damn these self-driving electric cars.